Hi.
Good evening, welcome. Thank you for joining us. My name's Barry.
And MJ.
And together we are Mitosu Crafts.
And this is Minnie. Hello, Minnie.
He's our MI out of our Mitosu.
She. Yes.
I said he, it's our.
Yes, we're independent Stampin' Up demonstrators based in the UK. So if you live in the UK, France, Germany, Austria, or the Netherlands, you'll be able to purchase current Stampin' Up products from our online shop. Do use the current host code, which can be found on our website at mitosocrafts.com, to receive a handmade card from us the following month and extra gifts if your order qualifies. We also put out a couple of live streams throughout the week, so if you'd love to see more card making inspiration using Stampin' Up products, do consider subscribing to our channel. And during our live, we give out the cards that we create via a random draw, so do pop in a comment if you're watching the live stream, or if you're watching the replay, still pop in a comment and you'll be put into the random draw on the next live stream. So before we do the random draw now, I'll say hello to those of you who have commented. So thank you so much for joining us.
So we've got lots of you waiting there already. So we have Mum, who's welcome. Hi, Connie, Angelina, Deborah, Marion, Steph, Mandy, too fast, Sandra, Betty, Valerie, Karen, and I think that was everyone so far that we have got. So good. So please share with everyone. Give us the thumbs up. Share with your friends. Just let everybody know that we are live and we are here and what we're up to. And we'd really appreciate it.
Yes. So the card that we'll be giving away is this lovely card on crumb cake base with the Hydrangea Haven bundle, which is looking lovely there with the dice as well. So this one, if you'd love to see how this card was created, do check out the video on our channel.
Lovely. So we're going to give this one away now. So I'm just going to cue that up and we will go over, and that's it. So just refresh comments. There we go. 18. So get your names in if you want to win. But here we go. We're going to do the draw for this one live right now.
Good luck, everyone. Kerry, congratulations.
Kerry, if you want to message us, details are popping up along the screen right now. Barry and Jay at mitosocrafts.com, and with your address details, and we will pop that in the post to you as soon as possible. Excellent. So let's crack on with tonight's demonstration. So lovely. There we go, Karen. Working its way to you. So tonight we are going to be working with the Hydrangea Haven once again. So I'm going to be doing 2 cards. So I'm going to put that one to one side because that's for my second, and this is for my first. So we're going to be doing a little bit of water resist techniques tonight. This is what not to do. So I'm going to show you that later on, the mistakes which happen, so hopefully you don't make the mistakes yourself. Is the plan. So good. Yeah, sorry, Sherry, I saw your comment there. Yeah, you are on a losing streak. It's been a while, hasn't it, since you've won a card? So maybe at the end. Fingers crossed. So, Hydrangea Haven. So I'm going to be using the Hydrangea Hill Designer Series paper as well. So this is still currently available, but it obviously will be leaving us when the mini catalogue retires. So we've still got a good couple of months yet to be able to get hold of this, which is why I'm still playing with it, because it is gorgeous paper and it is still available. So we're going to be using that, and I'm also going to be using it with the gorgeous grape cardstock to layer this up. So I'm just going to do some trimming and cutting. So hopefully I have been very good tonight, and I won't have to ask for anything because I'm at a disadvantage tonight because it's a 5-week month. And I have an extra one, so we just have to do a running total for the year, I reckon. So until we're at even numbers. So I've got to cut this out. Got my card base. I'm going to score that at 10.5 centimeters, and I'm going to trim it down to 14.6. There we go. So that is my card base. I'm going to take my layer, and I'm just going to take this down at the moment. It's 1 centimetre, it's half a centimetre, sorry, shorter than the thing itself. But I'm going to actually take an extra 5mm off. So I'm going to take this down to 9.5 centimetres. by 13.6 centimetres. So on my prototype, I've gone with a slightly larger size, so I'm going to go slightly smaller on this one, just to show off a little bit more of the gorgeous grape cardstock around the outside. So that's that one right there. I'm going to take some scrap paper. So this here is just some normal card which I had, and obviously it went wrong because I used the wrong paper for watercolouring. I was trying to be cheap and not use the expensive stuff or the proper stuff, and it doesn't work. So I'll explain that in a moment. But what I'm going to do is I just want to take this to... Oh, I can't remember what size I went for. Just bear with me one moment. I took this to...
Do you need a ruler?
No, I got the ruler here. I planned ahead. So 5/7/8 of an inch. I say there's one good thing which comes out of this little friendly competition we have. I'm organised. Well, I'm thinking about what I'm actually using on more of a regular basis. So it's actually becoming more. It's becoming more natural to just grab everything. Right? Have I got this? Have I got that? So yeah. So it's interesting. So I'm going to take this down to 9.5 because that was the size of the designer series paper which I had. So that's going to go across like that right there. Okay, so that's pretty much that card nearly done, apart from obviously the main thing. So I want to get myself some stuff ready here. So I have got... Take this out of the way.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm going to be using the large stamp right here. I am going to be using the innie, so I have got my innie and my outie.
Everyone's rooting for you. You can do it, Harry.
Rooting for me, good.
0 tonight.
So I just need my blocks.
Let's see what we have. Hi Maureen, Sue, Janice, Brenda, Julie, Catherine, Denise, Elizabeth, Sherry, Joanne, Lisa.
Lots tonight. Well done, well.
Still not finished. And Gian.
So I'm going to pop that one on there. So they're the two which I need. And I'm going to have You Make Me Smile. Where should I just put it? This there. You Make Me Smile. It's going to go on that one right there. And I'm going to be using the same... I will be using a different sentiment on the second one, but I'm going to be using the main outer stamps. Actually, I just realised I don't need the innie because I'm not doing the innie because I'm doing watercolouring tonight. So used to getting the innie out, so pop that away. So I don't need that block. So first things first, let's do some embossing. So I'm going to grab my tools. I've got my embossing buddy and I'm going to be using white stamping embossing powder. I'm thinking, so please don't let me have forgotten something silly. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to prep my cardstock. So I'm just going to prep it with my embossing buddy, just to take away any sticky fingers. Now the card which I'm using on this one tonight is actually the Shimmer White, which is the shimmery white cardstock, A4 cardstock. So it's got a very slight shimmer to it. Now it handles watercolour quite nicely. This, on the other hand, which is Basic White or Whisper White Thick, I can't remember what one it is, but doesn't take water nicely. It just doesn't work. So if you're struggling with watercolor, it will be down to the paper you are using. So if you do struggle with it, change the paper. So which is why I've gone over onto the shimmery white. I haven't tried it on the Fluid 100 watercolor paper. Now I don't know whether or not the Fluid 100 is going to be is going to be enough to actually take on the embossing. But if I've got time at the end, I may have a play with that one on the Fluid 100. But in the meantime, I'm going to use the shimmery white to do this. So I'm just taking my Versamarks, my clear Versamarks. This is going to be a little bit tricky for you to see to start off with, because obviously it's white, it's clear on white. Get that nice and inky. And then we'll stamp this down. So and I'm going to be using the white embossing powder. So I may do this twice. I may make up the second one whilst I've got it. I need something, but I can work. I can get around it. It's just that I won't be using the correct thing which we use.
No, but you have to demonstrate properly.
Well,
how would people know how to do it properly?
It's only a bit of scrap paper. Sorry, I breathed too much then. See, I breathed too much and I've blown it everywhere. So I will decant my embossing powder onto my gorgeous grape. I would normally have another bit of paper to decant onto, but I have plenty of paper here.
It was quite close to you anyway. It was by the box, so it's there.
That doesn't count though, because I worked without it. But it is here now. So yeah, always just have a little bit down, and don't laugh or giggle when you're doing it, because as you can see, you'll blow it everywhere. I will do the second one now, because I'm just gonna get my second one prepped for the second card. So all I'm gonna do is I'm just doing exactly the same. So and I may as well try the watercolour whilst I've got it here, and then it's all prepped and ready for me. So I'm inking that up again, and I will then pop another one in down there like that. And then I will then just pop this, so my next lot of powder can go on this one right here. So you can see, I don't know whether or not you can see on there, but it will show up more once it's heat set. So at the moment that's just the powder which is stuck to the card. And I'm just going to pop that to one side, and I'm going to grab my Fluid 100. I'm going to try it. Whilst I've got everything out, I may as well just do all of this at once, and then we'll see if this works. So Fluid 100, same thing. Because this has got a bit more texture to it, this cardstock, this is what I'm a bit more concerned about. It may not give me a smooth image, but we can try. So I'm just going to give that a good old push, because I want to make sure that really gets into the detail on that cardstock. Okay, it looks like it's gone on. And I'll just take this, and the same thing, pour my powder on. Okay, yeah, that went on quite nicely actually. Let's see what the heat set's like. So I'm done with my embossing powder now, lid on so you don't throw it and chuck it everywhere. I'm just going to pop it away. Let's do some heat setting. So I have got the heat tool ready here. So I'm going to do these ones first. I'm just going to heat set, so it's going to get a little bit noisy whilst I get this one ready for you. Okay, so that's those two done. So I'm not sure if you can see that. I will show up a bit more. So I'm going to do the one on the Fluid 100 now and see how that one comes out. And there we have it. So that there is, I think you can see it. I can't really see my camera too well.
You can see it. Yeah.
Is that coming out quite nicely? So that's the Fluid 100 and that's those two there. Good. We're actually done with the heat settings. So that's all done and dusted and to one side.
Nice. I do like white and white as well.
Yeah, I like white on white. So we're going to take this and I'm just going to just snip these so that they are suitable to go through my machine. So I'm just going to cut one in half. We'll come back to the second one in a moment. And I'm just going to cut the rest of that down afterwards if it needs to. But this is what I'm going to work on now. I need some inks. So I'm going to be using Granny Apple Green and Shaded Spruce. I am going to be using Gorgeous Grape and Magenta Madness for the first card.
You like Magenta Madness?
I do. I'm on a bit of a Magenta Madness thing at the moment. I'm really enjoying using it, as you will probably notice on one particular card, which is due to come out on Friday, I think, which is very pink. So I'm going to open these up. Now what you can do, you can either squidge your ink into your lids if you want to, or you can close them up like this. Grab yourself a block and... Tommy, you can't sit there. The cats soon let you know when they want to sit somewhere, don't they? For everyone who are animals in general. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these blocks as my palettes. So I'm just going to ink up my block. That's all I'm doing. Oh, I do need something. I do need something which is quite important, which I can't get away with. I do need tissue because I'm working with water.
There's something in the bin. There's nothing in the bin.
Well, there is something in the... Oh, actually, no, there is something in the bin. There's my one from this morning. Look how pretty that looks.
Tissue technique.
Yeah, which I have done as well, actually, at one point. Haven't I, the tissue technique? I may need some more. We'll see how this goes.
That's my fault.
So I'm not going to be using the very large one because the brush is too large for this. And so that's more for you doing your washes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using the two smaller ones. Like that. So what one do I want to use? Let's go with the larger one actually. So I'm going to go with this one right here. So I'm going to just squeeze out some water so it gets the nib nice and wet, and I'm just going to go down, and then I'm just going to do that on this block just to transfer some ink around and get it wet. Okay, so I've got myself my little, is it a palette? Is that what you would call it? Yeah. And then I'm just going to kind of squeeze and then drop some water on top of this again as well, and then just give it a wash around. And because you've done the heat embossing, you've then got it's resisted, which is good. And this will look completely, and again, it's going to look completely and utterly messy to start off with, but work with it. Bit of tissue down here just to squeeze off any of the excess ink out, so that cleans that. And I'm just going to just gently grab my tissue paper and then just take off some excess. It's going to get messy on here. and you can always add more afterwards. So it was a little bit, it was a bit too wet for me, so I'm just going to add another kind of layer, but I've squished out less ink that time, and I'm going around and I'm just kind of like intensifying it. And some of it's going to be darker in some areas, some of it will be lighter. That is what I'm after. And come off the edge, because we're going to be cutting this afterwards, so it makes no difference. So you can see on this one I did this, but because the paper was too absorbent, it just didn't work. So this was on the normal cardstock, but you can see I've got a nice resist here. So I'm just going to squeeze that one out and dry my brush off a little bit, and then we come in and we do the Magenta Madness. Now with the Magenta Madness, I kind of just want to dab it around on the petals, and because it's still wet, it will bleed onto the paper. It won't go on. So you can add some colour and just dab this around. Like so. And then we can probably go over with the Gorgeous Grape again in a moment, just to add some more darker elements of that. And I'm not really following any, I'm just kind of like dabbing over. You can kind of like go into, if you want to be specific, you can go on and colour certain petals in if you want to. Around like that. And this is where the correct paper is your friend on this one. If you've got the wrong paper, it will not work. So I know that you've got the stamp set, which you can do this and it gives you your texture inside, but sometimes we just want to just play and we want to get messy and we want to just play with our tools which we purchased.
Is that watercolor paper?
This is shimmery white.
Shimmery white.
This is shimmery white at the moment, but I have prepared a watercolour bit of paper to see how that works as well. So I'm just picking up some more of the Magenta Madness, and you can probably see that I'm coming. This is the wet area. I'm now coming into the more concentrated area, and the more concentrated I take it, the more concentrated the colour is going to be on my cardstock as well. So that's how you can then make one bit of ink, different shades of colour. Okay, so that there is the head of my hydrangea. So we're going to do the same with the green. So I'm just going to grab myself another block and pop those to one side. I'm going to take Granny Apple Green. I will try this just with Granny Apple Green, and we'll see whether or not we can get several tones. So obviously the less inks you need to use, the better it is. So we will just squeeze out the excess ink on this just to clean that brush off. And then take off some excess. So it's still a little bit too wet, so I'm over here. And we'll just give myself a wash over here. You laugh when I give myself a wash. Jay, you need to be doing this. And we're just going to squeeze a little bit more water out.
It's lovely.
So again, just by one ink, I'm not going to use the shaded spruce because I don't need to. So one ink to take off my excess water on here, just so it's a little bit more, it's not as wet, so I can intensify this. And then you can then just dab some stronger colour around in the centres. I'm not really following any particular, I'm just giving it shading and colour. So it just looks different. Oh Jay, we didn't plug the laptop in.
gone.
Yeah.
It's completely gone.
So that's that. And then I'm just going to do a wash here. Yeah, that's right. We are still. And I'm just going to do that down there like that. Okay. So that's good. Lovely. I can't see you because we've now any comments because we've now lost the computer because I forgot to we forgot to plug it in. We forgot to do a major check.
Oh, there it goes. Then again, so just, yeah.
That's good. Don't you just love technology? It comes back to where we left it off, even after the power left off on the live feed.
Not when you go off the live though.
Yeah, not when you go off the live completely. So there we go. So I'm just going to leave that dry for a second. I may just give it a little bit of a helping hand with a heat tool. I don't want to do this too much because I don't want to overburn the embossing. So I'm just going to just gently from a distance, just for a couple of seconds, just to give it a bit of a dry. So I'm doing it from the back as well. I'll click over the front just to dry the water off because obviously I'm going to run this through the machine in a second, and that's that. So what do you think? Do you like the look of that? Does that look pretty? It looks messy at the moment because it's not cut out because I haven't kept the lines, done nothing. So I'm going to grab my dies. And we're going to do this again, but we're going to do this in another colour as well afterwards. So you can see what that looks like. So I'm going to take my mini. Just going to move that card before I drop it in the ink. I can see myself dropping it somewhere. And I'm just going to run this through my machine. So who is winning? I think Jay is winning now because I've had to ask for some stuff. I've had to ask for some tissue tonight. But I am one live in front. So technically we are a draw currently.
Technically.
But I've done, this is my 5 against Jay's 4, so... I'm gonna make sure I remember that. Grab some washi tape because I need this to stay in place. Because obviously the paper has buckled a little bit now under the water and the heat. So I'm just going to line this one up. It's a little bit tricky. This one here. And let's take that out. Yeah, I had fun playing with this technique this morning. I just thought it was lovely. And there we go. It looks so, obviously now you've got rid of all of that rubbish around the outside, all of the messiness around the outside. It now just comes to life. And I know some of you don't like the white edge which the dies give you. So if you don't like the white edge which the dies give you, this is a perfect technique for you because you can get rid of as much of those white edges as you like, so it doesn't actually show through. So that's that's a little tip for you on that one. So I'm going to go ahead and construct this card. So what else do I need on this? I needed nothing because I'm going to stamp. So does everyone like that? Good. It's alright. So where did I put everything? That would be a help, wouldn't it? That one there. That one there. So I'm going to grab my glue and I'm just going to stick this directly down. Just need to give that a little bit of a trim up. We need to change our blade soon, but again, until all the time I can still give it a little bit of a haircut if I need to. And fine. So if you're getting fuzzy edges, you need to change your blade. But I tell you what, these blades last a lot longer, and I mean a lot longer than previous blades which we've had. So yeah. And we do a lot of cutting, and again, we do a lot of cutting. Here we go. So that's in like that. Just give that a bit of a wiggle. Good. And that is now going to go like that, and I'm going to pop this on some dimensionals. So I'm going to grab myself some thick dimensionals, or the large dimensionals. I'm just going to pop these on this right here. So we're good on these top parts. And I need to pop a dimensional, because that's going to go like that. So I need to pop a dimensional onto that flower head right there, or that leaf right there. And I need to go for one towards the end up here, like that. This one's going to get stuck onto the bit like that. So that's how I'm going to pop that down. So I need to take my sentiment, and I'm going to pop my sentiment over on this side right here. I just realised that one of those didn't have a backing on it, so just carefully take that off. Good. So somebody, I can't remember who it was, I think it was Innie, I think, commented the other day, so why don't I use the colour ink for stamping my sentiments? Why did I use the black a lot? And the bottom simple answer is I forget. Black seems to be my go-to colour for sentiments, and I forget that you can actually stamp your sentiments in a colour. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment this time in the Gorgeous Grape. Let me just stand up. And we just put that side. There we go. Because you make me smile, and you all make us both smile by chatting to us and communicating with us. So this card is true. You all make us smile.
Angelina said, beautiful color combination. Are you feeling better, Barry? Wow, that will be a beautiful card.
I am feeling better, thank you very much, Angelina. Yes, I did have a cough the other day, but I just had a frog in my throat. I just had a dry throat. I think it was just. Yeah, but no, I am all good now. Thank you very much. So let's pop some dimensionals on the back of this. So I go with one over on that side, one over on that side. Let's just go with one in the middle. If you wanted to, you could bling up this flower. If you wanted to, you could get some Wing Stella on it. You could even, instead of water painters, you could paint with Wing Stella. And that's another thing which you can do. But
extra shimmery. But
yeah, it will be extra shimmery. But because it's kind of like watercolour, it may, if you do it again, it may run the colours a little bit. So just be careful how you do it. Where is it?
What? Wing Stella?
No, the flower. I've lost my flower.
There.
Where? Oh, yeah, there. Oh.
It's on the left.
Take my backing off of this one right here. And we're going to do something very similar on the second one, but we're just going to step it up. And would you say it's a completely different card, Jay, isn't it? The second one, or is it similar? It's the same technique, but I've stepped it up and I'm changing the colours. So that's going to go on like that. And I just need to just pop a little bit of glue just now underneath this here, a little bit on the stem. just to hold that down. And there we have it. There is the Emboss Resist Technique card number 1. I love it. I think it's great. It's a lovely technique. Again, the stamp does something very similar to that, but it's not. This is more fun. So, but for quick cards, they're using the whole stamp set for yourself. Like you say, if you've not seen this set before, using these inner parts here, which goes inside the actual stamp here, you can achieve obviously a very similar effect, but just with one stamp. And I did do it with 2 inks the other day as well. So lovely. So there we go. I'm going to move on to the second card now. So I am going to, on this one, I don't actually need, let's just clear up a little bit. Shall I do, yeah, I'll come, no, I'm going to, you know what, I'm going to do the same colour. No, I'm going to do this I'm going to see how it works out. I'm sure it will be fine with watercolour card. So I'm going to show you the 2. So we've got one which is with shimmery white, and we've got one, I'm going to do the second one on the Fluid 100 cardstock, just so that I can show you a comparison between the 2. I haven't done a prototype on this, so I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my green. Whilst I've got the green here, I may as well just get my green sorted and do my petals. And we just do a wash over layers. The more water, the lighter it is. So, and this is, yeah, it's absorbing the water a little bit more actually.
Everyone's saying lovely card, gorgeous colors. Carrie Morgan, who's won the last drawing, has popped in.
Good. Well done, Carrie. Yes, you won the last draw, Carrie, so please message us. So that's that. And then I'm just going to then just take some of the more concentrated ink and then just dab it in. And the water just lets that bleed out a little bit. So I need, actually on this one, I need more, it's on the shimmer white, the water seems to sit on the surface a little bit more. On the Fluid 100, on the watercolour, it's taking the water in, but obviously it's still staying wet, so it's still blending itself out. That's kind of correct, Jay. That's what it feels. That's what it feels like it's doing anyway.
Yeah, because the shimmery white is kind of like coated.
Yeah. So the shimmery white, the ink is actually the water is kind of sitting on top and slowly absorbing in. This one is just, it's absorbing into, the paper is wet, and therefore it's kind of absorbing into the whole thing. And you can see I need some more green because I still need to intensify this a little bit. So. Obviously, I don't want to use too much water, but I just want to. And then just go with the darker parts.
Michelle asked, "Is there a reason you put the ink on a block rather than the lid of the stamp pad?"
You can do both. The reason I suppose I like doing this is because when I'm working with water, I don't want to saturate my lid and then I then turn the lid over and then it potentially then goes in and contaminates the ink pad. So that's just one thing, and I feel a bit more happier with the amount of water I'm using this way. Yes, I am potentially wasting some ink, but I just feel that I have a bit more control.
I find it hard to press the ink pad.
Yes, I suppose there is that as well. The new ink pads are a little bit harder to actually squeeze. So that's also another reason. But I suppose now if I'd left that in my lid, I close my lid up and then go into the pad, I could potentially contaminate. But this is just, it's just kind of like another little palette which I use really. So you could either or, there's no right or wrong way to this. I think it's just purely down to personal preference on that one. So I'm just going to clear off my brush. And just get that as clean as possible. I'm going to use Pacific Point. So you can see I've done that on the Pacific Point a little bit. It's in the lid previously, but I'm going to use, I want to use this as my kind of like my swatch. So water in, get that nice and wet. Now I've already learned previously that I need to use more water with this to get this in, because it sucks it in a little bit quicker. So I just want to get that first coat on like that. So, and then just, if I maybe just bring it down a little bit like that, I can let some of that water which is up here pulled in, because this is going to add some detail as well. Pick up some of the stronger areas and then just dab some of this blue around.
Is that Pacific?
This is Pacific Point, yeah.
Sorry, I was just wondering.
Which is a colour I probably thought was a little bit different for this, but I quite like it.
I love it.
So it's the same technique as what I'm using here as what I did the first cut. I'm just using a different colour, but like I say, I am doing this on different type of paper. So we will see. But the embossing has worked on both of them. It's not been an issue at all.
It's a great technique for this particular stamp because you can do random coloring.
Yeah.
Really, and it still look amazing because of the image, the lens itself.
Yes, it is. It is the perfect. It is the perfect. Sometimes a stamp is too perfect and doesn't lend itself to this technique, but I think this one works really, really well. So I'm just going to just take that off a little bit because I want to pop that back onto my. I want to just pick a little bit of strong. Actually, I'm going to do a different colour. The colour I'm going to use again. What should I use on my original? I think I used Magenta Madness again. So I told you I'm loving Magenta Madness at the moment. So clear off my brush. There's a lot of water in this. I filled this up, but this is was filled with water before I come on, and down to here. So I've got my Magenta Madness from earlier on. Same thing. That's dried up a little bit now. I can then go back in and reactivate this. I want this quite intense because what I want to do is I just want to need it a little bit wetter now, and I just want to just dab around some of these colours here. Now naturally obviously blue and red make purple anyway, and because it's pink, it's on the same kind of like scale as it's on the kind of the same spectrum, I suppose is that the correct word. It's when the two merge with each other, I'm getting this nice purple colour. I just love blue and red together creates a gorgeous purple. I absolutely love it. They're the two best colours I think that can work with each other in my opinion. I think you can't, for some reason it doesn't seem to go wrong, the colour mixing. Is there a scientific term for that, Jay?
Sorry, I wasn't listening. Blues
and reds, they go really well with each other because obviously they're complementary colour. Is that correct?
No, blue and red are
primary colours. But together they work well with each other
because they create purple.
But they seem to the other colours. I don't know. The purple always just seems to come out perfect with it, and I just love it. All the other colours tend to be a little bit odd, but I just love this. So I'm going to I want to pop some more blue into this again. So I'm just cleaning my brush off. Actually, I've got a bit of purple here. Let's just shove it. Let's just mix this up. I've got it. If I do a light colour of purple on this, that's the one. And I'll probably just go over again with the blue just to darken this down. good. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit more blue, so I don't need much on this one. Blue and purple, they do, I think because they work well on video, on camera, this comes out
Lisa loves
amazing.
the blue, and blue definitely is Mandy's favorite color. Hi, teddy bear stamping. Caroline said they're authentic, and I think she said somewhere she bought one of her friends like blue hydrangea
Okay.
for her birthday.
And there we have it. Good. Yeah, I think looks stunning. I'm really happy with that. And that is on the watercolour. That's on the watercolour fluid 100, and it works just as well. I'll show it again. I've done a prototype, which my prototype is on the shimmer white card, so we can see it. We can have a little look at the end and see whether or not the two, if you can really see much of a difference. The two papers did work differently as well, but it's just a learning curve with that. So I'm just going to wipe this off.
Hi, Jeanette.
And go from there. So I just need to clear this up. Obviously, if you've got a couple of these, you could sit down again one evening, one afternoon, whenever. Get yourself out your little colour palettes, and you can paint. You can just do a couple of these, and you can knock out a few cards quite easily. So if you missed the first card, which I've done, any latecomers coming in, that's the first one which I've done, which is really simple, which is the Designer Series paper. Obviously, I'm going to be a little bit more technical on this one, and we're not using Designer Series paper. Well, I am actually. I'm using an offcut. This is an offcut from my Fun Fold Friday card, which, surprisingly, you will see on Friday. Well, whatever gave that away. And that is an offcut from it. And I saved it, and I thought to today, I thought, ooh, I can do it. And I've got the table wet. Oh no, we're going to need to go and get some more table, Joe.
Sorry?
I've got the table wet. We're going to need to go and get a new table.
Oh.
Off to Dunelm tomorrow. Okay, so let's cut this out right here. So I just need to give myself a little bit of room. So cleaned up my blocks. They can go away. Taking this, I've got my die here. Now this has dried up quite nicely. I'm not going to worry about heat setting this one because it's gone in quite nice. Pop this over the top like this here. So I know there's quite a few of you on here who saw the first instalment of Fun Fold Friday last week. What did you all think of it? Did you like it? Obviously, if you haven't seen it or don't know what I'm talking about, every Friday, he hopes, fingers crossed.
Every time you say every Friday, he hopes.
I will be bringing you a new fancy fold. Well, a new fancy fold to me, it's not necessarily a fancy fold I've made up. I'm not that good, but it's a fold which I've seen being done. Other demonstrators, other card makers have done it, and I've not done it, so I want to play with it, and I want to show you as well.
Angelina said, "My color is really the purple. It speaks more to her."
That's good. Did that cut? Yes, there we go. Well, see, and this comes to life a little bit more once it's actually been die cut out, because before it's die cut, it looks a complete mess. So once we die cut it out, so that's what it looks like, and it should pop itself out, and there we have it. I think it's stunning. I love it. And obviously you've got a little bit of the green which is merged in with the blue, which is okay. It hasn't gone muddy, but obviously you may run the risk if they mix together too much. But that's worked out quite nicely, because Granny Apple Green looks like it's got quite a lot of yellow, made up of some yellow anyway. So it's worked. It has worked right. Look at the state of my fingers.
Everyone loves Funfold Friday.
Good, lovely. So let me know. Obviously, this week is a step card, because I put a poll out on our Crafty Stampers Facebook group, and the winning vote was a step card. So next week I may do the display card, because that got some votes as well. But please let me know what you would like to see, because yeah, I've got a few things, but
Love it. That's
some ideas would be great. So I'm going to take my thick cardstock here, and I'm just going to cut this down to size. So we cut our card bases down to 14.6, score at 10.5 centimetres, because we do that, and they also convert quite nicely over into inches. So anyone who works in inches, it should be a nice easy conversion for you. So which is 5 3/4 by 4 1/8 of an inch is what that converts down to. See, we try and think of you all when we're doing this. So I'm just going to fold and burnish this card here. So this is my card base. Okay, and then that's going to stick on top over here like that. I'm going to use a little bit of my offcut going on right now. So it's very similar to the first card, but we will take this, and I just need to now just measure.
You're missing the ruler.
Well, the ruler was here, wasn't it? But I don't know where it's gone.
You can use a trimmer.
Oh no, there it's. I knew the ruler was here somewhere. So I just need to just measure, but I don't want to show you what I'm doing. So it's 9. Okay.
1 in a... No. Yeah, 1 in a...
Take my trimmer. So I'm going to take that down to 9 centimetres, which is 1.5 centimetres smaller than I need it than the card base itself. Again, we always work in proportions. So if I've taken 1.5 off of this side, I'm going to take 1.5 off of this side as well. So the card base is 14.6, so I take that down to 13.1, which will be 1.5 centimetres smaller. Okay.
Or we can convert it to 5/8 of an inch.
Yes. Just need some scrap paper. I've got any. I don't really want to use a strip. No, I mean for stamping. I need to take a bit. Or yeah, so just a very thin strip. So I don't want to waste a. I don't want to waste a big piece of paper just for a tiny bit like that. So we keep all of our offcuts like this. So we save all of our offcuts and for things like this. And I'm going to just stamp my sentiment here now. So I'm just going to clean this one up. Grab the sentiment here. So again, the other sentiment which I'm going to use is one which I'm using an awful lot with this one here, is I appreciate the little things you do. And I said it before in a video which I've used it. I think I've used it all the time. But I would use it, but it's not in there. Where is it? Oh no!
What?
I've lost the stamp. Did I get it out already? It's here somewhere, but it's fallen.
There.
No, that's not the one I'm after. I'm after the sentiment one. So I appreciate all the little things you do. I didn't mount it already, did I? Okay, we may have to use another stamp because I have lost. Oh no, I've lost one. Let's just make sure it hasn't gone in here. So that's kind of pay to this idea because no other sentiment fits that one. Never mind. It's here somewhere. The problem is it's photopolymer and I can't see it.
Carry on.
Carry on, yeah.
Carry on, I'll have a look for it.
That's fine. I need to find another sentiment then to go in this, so we will need to take... This is the die which I wanted to use. Just make sure it's not in there, is it? Nope. So let's see what else fits in this one there. I don't think you all want me to be sending you an I love you card. I'm sure your husbands and things like that might, or partners, boyfriends, girlfriends, may have something to say about that. So let's go with you're capable of amazing things. There we go. We'll go with that one right there. Oh no, the sentiment I really that's why we've lost it, is because it's the one I love the most. So it's probably lost its sticky the most. And it's here. I'll just do a shakedown before I before I walk away from anything. I'm going to have to go back and watch the beginning of the video, aren't I, to see if it was in there at the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, I can do that.
So I'm just going to go, you are capable of amazing things. And then that still fits perfectly within that die as well. Oh, thank you so much, Jeanette. Yeah, I don't just want to show you nice things, and obviously, ideally, yes. I'm going to be honest with you all here. Ideally, yes, we are Stampin' Up! Demonstrators, and obviously, we would like anyone who can purchase from us. But at the same time, I know there's a lot of you that do watch us that don't purchase from us or are demonstrators, so you'll purchase from yourself. And so therefore we just want to show you and teach you new techniques and chat and just have fun. And there we go, that one fits in that one quite nicely as well. So take that one off. So that's that. So I'm going to move over onto the big machine now, because obviously I'm going to be doing a bit of embossing, and the embossing I need to do is too large for the mini. So I'm going to be using the Parisian Flourish 3D embossing folder, one which doesn't come out that much actually, but every time I use it I'm always, wow, I like it, that's really nice, why don't I use that enough? And then I forget about it again until next time I put it out and go, why don't I do that? So I'm going to bring in my correct plates, and let's bring in the big beast. So I need to be using on this, because I'm going to be using it's a 3D embossing folder. So I'm using my plates which I've got here. I'm going to be using with a 3D embossing folders. I need to use plates number 1 and 4. So I've got number 1 here, and I use number 4. So that's my correct sandwich. So it's being made so much easier for you now with the stuff on the plates. I know everyone was always beforehand, what plates do I use, or it's too tight, or they're breaking their machines because they're forcing it through. It's done. So I'm just going to line this up. Now this is an embossing folder that I want to make sure that I do kind of like get the pattern. If I have it off and the pattern doesn't symmetrical, no, I think it's a bit doolally. So I'm just going to, I need to try and make sure I've got it even Stevens both sides. And that's where this line comes in handy down the bottom down here, because I can also use that to help me out with getting that straight.
Is that carrying forward?
This is carrying forward, yes. So I'm quite happy with that. This pattern here is quite central, top and bottom looks quite central, so I'm happy with that. See, everyone that can't obviously shop with us in the UK, France, Germany, Netherlands or Austria, then we just appreciate you just watching us on YouTube as well. And a lot of you help us by donating to our channel. So we both want to say a huge thank you to everybody that donates to our channel and just helps us, because those little bits just help us continue to. We just put it back into buying new stuff or sending the cards which we give out to everyone. It all goes towards back into, so we pump it back into you basically. We do. Occasionally we might buy ourselves a pizza, but
A.
Oh, damn, I shouldn't have said that. Jay didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Occasionally I buy myself a pizza. No, I don't.
All the time.
So good. Are you still? Was it? Have you looked at the beginning of the video?
Looking.
So I've got this one here. So like I say, this is an offcut from the video, from a previous video which I've done, which like I say you will get to see it on Unfold Friday. So I'm just going to stick this down flat down onto the card itself, and we're just going to go tone on tone, so white on white. That goes in like that, and because it's white on white, it doesn't look bit, and it's embossed. It stands out.
I love white on white.
So it's just going to go down like that. And then I'm going to, because I'm not stamping on this particular one, I can then pop this onto some dimensionals. So that can go on like this. And then that can go on the centre. Now this one on my original, I cut this piece down to the exact same size as the white. This is a little bit larger now, so I'm overlapping. So I'm just trying to see what it's like. And it's just a little bit bigger than the Whisper Whites. So I'm just going to make sure my overhang is even. That's that, but it's not the same size as the actual card base, so I've kind of like got a bit of a double edge border, so I've got a border there and it's coming out, so I quite like it. I'm just going to make sure it like connects to the paper, because this is a really detailed embossing folder. You need to make sure it just does connect as well. And that's also quite handy when you're using your dimensionals on this, because it then would hopefully turn it flat if you're sticking stuff on top of it. Grab these, and I'm just going to do the same here, but I'm not going to, I want to, again, I don't want to pop a dimensional on this one, I don't want to pop it down here, so I need to go on the top here, all of this one and all of this flower right here. So we are nearly finished. I think Jay will probably show you something. What are you going to show? One of your twist card, Jay?
Yeah, everyone's saying they've seen it.
Yeah, so you can see it again if you want to. We're going to show that at the end. So get your names in, because we are going to pick a winner for the first card very soon. So somebody will win this card here.
I'm still looking for that sound.
It's one of those things. Afterwards, I won't move. Jay's going to have to do a rub down.
What's it called? I appreciate all the little things.
I'm gonna have to do the stamp dance in the middle of the room, and
no, not in the middle, because we have black.
Oh no, I'll do a stamp dance when I get up, and then see if anything drops off. You know you all do a stamp dance. You know what I'm talking about. Any of you are going, what's he on about, a stamp dance? You know what I'm talking about. Don't lie.
Do the stamp dance. Shall I record Barry doing it?
No, please don't record me.
Let's start a craze. Do the stamp dance.
Yeah, let's start a thing like the... What was that weird thing last year or something? The scissor thing, whatever it was. What was it?
We're so trendy.
We'll start our own one, shall we? What was that one called? The floss. You got the floss last year or whatever it was. Let's start one. Let's start
The stamp.
the stamp dance. I'll let one of you lovely ladies and gentlemen start that one off. I don't want to see me start that though. I'm going to pop a dimensional on the bottom. I don't want to pop it in the centre. I want to make sure it's at the bottom of the... because I want to stick this part to the card. And that then is going to then go like that. So get your names in because we are nearly finished.
I think I have everyone.
And there we go. There is card number 2 with our Emboss Resist technique. Right there with the hydrangea flowers. It's card number 1, card number 2. There we go. So let me just show you the originals. That one there was the original of that one, so you can see the difference. You get a different colouring technique every single time. Really, really nice. Oh, I did use it on that one there. And this one here, you can see I've changed it slightly differently on this one. I've gone darker on that, but there we go. Both very, very nice cards. Again, you get a different effect every single time you do it. So lovely. What one did I do tonight? I can't remember now. They're too similar to each other. I think it was that one there, wasn't it? I can't remember what one I did now. I will have to go back on a replay. No, I think it was that one. It was that one right there. So there we go. Happy? Lovely. All right, so Jay's going to come over in a second with everyone's names, and he's got no seat to sit on. I've done exactly what he does to me. And
you put it on a block, it looked like.
Did I actually block it up somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
but
fine.
Then the 2 blocks is there.
That's right. We will find it. It will turn up. So, who wants to win this? Who wants to win it? So any questions at all, please just get your questions in if you've got any if you've got anything there.
I've got everyone.
Good, excellent.
Yes.
So we're going to do a quick switcheroo.
Yay! I love that. And imagine that with using vellum, but vellum can't take much water, but it will look translucent, transparent. That will look lovely as well. You're doing the dance.
Found it.
Do the dance.
Found it.
Was it on you?
I don't know where it was, on the floor. I don't know whether or not my stamp dance got rid of it though.
Fun. So yes, so everyone was talking about, well, not everyone. Some have mentioned this pop-up card, so the full tutorial is on there now. I did end up adding the trinket, the bone, because it's just so cute.
Can I just ask you, did you not delete the top list? Is this a new list down here?
No, I thought I did. The top list is the new list.
The top list is the new list,
wait,
is it?
where is it? No, the top list is the old one. That hasn't updated.
Has it not?
Because I deleted everything.
Okay, alright.
you want me to have a look?
No, that's fine. I'll quit it and I'll restart it.
So yes, so the tutorial is on the channel. It's only like 12 minutes long, but I hope I've explained enough, and the video is actually good. I haven't written the instructions down, but I went through it with imperial and metric measurements.
Okay.
as well. What's Thursday? Oh yes, so tomorrow is Creating Kindness Day or Blog Hop Day. It is Spring Fling. This is my uh, starter beginner card. I've created 2 more cards using the Timeless Tulips and using the stem for the background, so I created the wreath for that. But that will be on the blog tomorrow, again with 2 stepped up version using the Timeless Tulips as well. So hopefully you have a look and hop along. Our special guest designer is the fabulous Jackie Aitken from Australia.
Ooh, I love her stuff.
She's amazing. So yes.
Quick technical issue. Just going to have to ask Jay. You didn't delete both lists. So what list am I going from?
What do you
Top or
mean?
bottom? I've got 2 lists on the go.
The one with Connie right at the bottom.
So that's fine. That one there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
Good, excellent.
So yes, so we are going to do the random draw for this card now. I'll just set that up. Are you ready?
I am ready. So we got winner is going to be Hi Melinda.
Yay!
I don't know how to say your
Worth?
surname. Worth, is that
Yeah.
correct? Sorry. So hi Melinda. Hopefully we're pronouncing that correctly. Please message us. Details are across the screen right now. Barry and Jay at MitosuCrafts.com. Jay's going to turn the light down so we're not.
Yes, congratulations. Thank you so much. Again, everyone, do pop in another comment in the comment section below and watch the replay to see how this card was created, as well as the next card, which we'll do the random draw for on Sunday.
Yes.
Do pop in a comment as well if you'd love to see us play with the Hydrangea Haven again, because I haven't decided yet what I'm going to be playing.
Yeah, we don't know. Maybe Hydrangea Haven,
Yeah.
maybe something else. We are using Hydrangea Haven for our next class as well, so there is still time to book in for our next class on the, I want to say the 13th of April. Yes, it is 13th of April. There is still time to book in for that
Yeah.
one. If you, still time for the UK and the worldwide options if you want to book in for it.
Cool. Thanks again for joining us. Stay safe and take care.
See you soon. See you Sunday. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.